You assume living in the wild mountains is miserable. Actually, it is insanely enjoyable. Every day, you wake up to a natural scenic view. With a charming companion by your side, life in the wild isn't lonely at all. Instead, the sense of relaxation is maxed out. Growing some vegetables, raising some poultry. Even in the uninhabited wild, one can achieve self-sufficiency. Whenever the weather is clear, Martin, who is a photographer, turns the beautiful scenery before him into material for his next video. Chasing the first rays of sunlight in the morning, waiting for the sunset to dye the sky red in the evening, the rolling mountains and the flowing clouds are steadily captured by his lens. For Martin, recording the beauty of the Alps is a lifestyle in itself. The walls of the studio are getting higher day by day. To make the subsequent construction smoother, he sketched out the scaffolding design in advance. As a true man of many talents, hand drawing is a piece of cake for him. As time moves into October, the temperature in the mountains drops significantly. The cozy and grand fireplace is finally put to use. Martin splits the dry wood into small pieces, and then ignites a roaring fire, providing warmth for the interior. Amidst the flickering flames, Martin suddenly remembers he hasn't made bread by hand for a long time. So he decides to do it today, while the dough is proofing. He hurries down the mountain to buy some urgently needed timber. These are pre-ordered and cut to size, ready to be installed upon arrival. While the cows on the mountain enjoy their afternoon meal, the corporate drones in the city are still working. Copy that, copy that. Martin stops the car to greet them warmly, then continues on his way home. Night slowly falls. The dough has risen just right. Using the residual heat of the charcoal, the rest is left to the magic of time. When he comes downstairs again, the golden bread is freshly baked. With skills like this, you really should take notes. The next day, mist fills the mountains. An autumn rain brings a touch of chill. The timber brought back yesterday hadn't been unloaded yet. Now it must be moved in the rain. For Martin, work and life have never been separate. It's just a different form of living. Some choose to live in the mountains, building their ideal life with their hands. Others return to the city, seeking a stable job to build a career. After all, finding a job abroad isn't hard. Unlike Wokwon, who has been running around looking for work, it's either low wages or too far from home. Luckily, a friend told me yesterday that finding a job on 58.com is quick. There are many general labor jobs verified by the platform. It's guaranteed and safe. You can even interview via chat. Job hunting while chatting. Super efficient. If there's no reply within 24 hours, the platform compensates you directly. Once the job is secured, you can rent a room directly from landlords. It's very convenient. 58.com works for everything. Although the entire mountain belongs to him, Martin is always very restrained about cutting down nearby trees. He only cuts those that are growing poorly or dying. That is when he makes his move. Once collected, they will be used as supports. Since the raspberries grew too lushly, he couldn't finish eating them all summer. Not to waste them, he picks them to feed the hens. The 3 chicks that hatched successfully before have now integrated into the big family. Like Martin, they lived a carefree life here in the Alps. A few days later, the sun shines again. Mushrooms on the ground grow wildly. This is the real colorful mushroom kingdom. Martin planted this tree when he first arrived. It has silently witnessed everything for 2.5 years. The next day, his parents visited. Ella also came along after her work. His old father is much more diligent than Martin. He always sees work that needs to be done, whether it's chopping logs or setting up scaffolding. He is very proactive. Since it's rare for him to visit, he feels he should help his son as much as possible. His mother naturally stayed busy too. Besides cooking, she did what she could, like grouting the stone walls. However, accidents always come unexpectedly. Martin drove his parents home over the weekend. Just 2 days away from the mountain, all the chickens he raised were taken by foxes or other wild animals. Only chicken feathers were left on the ground. One can imagine how despairing it was. The 3 little ones had just grown up. I previously thought they could live here carefree, avoiding the fate of slaughter. However, things went against his wishes. Martin was also very sad about this. After all, he raised them with his own hands. They had long become part of his life. Even when drinking water in the snowy winter, he would heat it up for them, recalling the scenes of taking care of them. Tears inevitably well up in his eyes. A beautiful and unforgettable autumn kicked off with a heartbreaking start, but life must go on. After fixing the tow hook, he continued to build the scaffolding. The felled timber was utilized perfectly, back when he built the first stone house. He also set up the scaffolding bit by bit. Since flat stone slabs were running low, he went down the mountain to buy some. These slabs are specifically for restoring stone houses, so the rough edges look more natural. The roof area is huge, so he needs 4 or 5 more loads. For heavy work, Martin always likes to call for backup. With 3 helpers assisting, efficiency surely improved significantly. He couldn't handle the large beams alone, but with a little extra payment power, the boss delivered them right to the door. Driving a tractor in this place requires skill. You have to admit. So far, this is the largest number of helpers he's had. Teamwork is displayed vividly here. Many hands make light work. Even with logs weighing 100 pounds, moving them is no longer that difficult. Turn on the left. All right, on the right. The next day, acting as the host, Martin arranged lunch to treat everyone. This is the first time so many people sat at this table. They come from different countries, working together to help build Martin's home. Now with the scaffolding improved, working on the remaining stone walls is much easier. Taking a stroll in the afternoon. The autumn vibe in the mountains is stronger. Through Martin's lens, every frame is wallpaper worthy. For dinner, he's having pasta, watching a movie, while enjoying delicious food. This life is truly pure bliss. When he went down to get stone slabs this morning, he also bought 3 different varieties of pear trees. The apple tree planted a year ago is already fruiting, and growing quite well. Planting these new ones now, he should be able to eat pears by next autumn. Another day of work begins. Martin slowly pulls back the cover. Dry leaves have covered the support. Against the backdrop of the autumn forest, everything looks quiet and warm. Since he was running low on cement, and too lazy to go down the mountain, he borrowed an old truck from a neighbor nearby. The car's horsepower is still quite decent, roaring freely on the hillside. After unloading it, cement mixed with stones. The back wall soon rose half a meter high. After finishing the grouting in the dark, he brought over wooden boards the next day and started working on the window arch. Martin drove a stick into the ground, tied a string to it as the center, and drew a smooth semicircle on the board. Next came the assembly. Thanks to precise measurements and perfect cutting, the finished size fit perfectly. He called friends to move stone slabs in the afternoon, arranged neatly, one by one, waiting to become part of the new home. Even though the temperature dropped, they chose to eat dinner at the outdoor table. Just because. The two helpers wanted to experience the vibe here. The mountain weather changes abruptly. The next day, when Martin returned from his last trip hauling slabs, continuous autumn rain, wrapped in strong winds, made the golden leaves dance across the valley. The neighbor also came to the stone house today. Perfect timing is better than arriving early, just in time to help move the boards and move the remaining logs away. As the morning sun rises, another new day begins. Martin, up early, takes a basket to pick ripe apples. The small trunk has borne quite a few. These are enough for him to eat for a whole month.